Imagine being 3 days into a massive coastal blackout or deep in the wilderness, and while everyone else is fumbling for candles or hauling heavy gas cans, you simply flip a single switch and your refrigerator kicks back to life, your laptop glows, and your coffee starts brewing. It sounds like a dream, but with the right 1,000-watt solar generator, it's just another Tuesday. Today, we are breaking down the absolute best 1,000-watt units on the market to see which one truly earns the title of the ultimate power insurance policy for 2026. Whether you're a hardcore van lifer, a weekend camper, or just someone who refuses to be left in the dark during a storm, I've done the heavy lifting to compare these side by side so you don't have to. We're looking at everything from battery chemistry and recharge speeds to those make-or-break features like wireless charging and emergency UPS modes. Stick around until the end because our number one pick actually does something I've never seen another generator do before. All the links are in the description below. Number 6, EBL Voyager 1000. Coming in at number 6, we have the EBL Voyager 1000. And let me tell you, if you are tired of lugging around portable power stations that feel like you're carrying a literal cinder block, this is the unit for you. What makes the EBL so intriguing is that it manages to pack a massive 999 watt-hours capacity and a 1,000-watt pure sine wave inverter into a chassis that is significantly smaller and nearly 7 pounds lighter than the industry-standard Jackery Explorer 1000. It's built like a tank, with a rugged orange shell and reinforced rubber bumpers, but the real star of the show is that flat folding handle that lets you stack gear right on top of it. A small detail that van lifers will absolutely love. When you compare this to the Jackery 1000, the EBL actually offers a much better value proposition, often retailing at nearly half the price per watt-hour, while throwing in modern perks like a 10-watt wireless charging pad and a built-in LED floodlight that the Jackery lacks. In my real-world testing, it ran a portable fridge for a full 24 hours without breaking a sweat. Though I will say the cooling fans are definitely audible when you're pushing a heavy load. It uses NCM lithium cells which, while highly efficient at about 88% usable capacity, won't last quite as many years as the newer LIFEP04 models we'll see later on the list. Also, keep in mind that the AC charging is capped at 150 watts, so you're looking at an 8 to 12 hour wait for a full top-off, which might be a deal breaker if you're in a rush. However, for digital creators who need to charge a laptop 15 times or a phone 80 times without breaking their back, this shoebox-sized powerhouse is a fantastic entry point into the off-grid world. What do you think about that compact design? Would you trade a slower charge for a lighter weight? Let me know in the comments. Number 5, Bluetti AC70. At number 5, we're stepping up the tech game with the Bluetti AC70, a unit that is essentially a speed demon, designed for people who hate waiting around for their gear to charge. This 768 watt-hour powerhouse features a 1,000-watt inverter, but here's the kicker. It has a powerlifting mode that can actually drive resistive loads like hair dryers or kettles up to 2,000 watts. That is a massive advantage over the EBL or the BALDR, which would simply trip their breakers if you tried to make a cup of tea. But the real reason the AC70 is a top-tier contender is its LIFEP04 battery chemistry. Unlike the NCM cells in the EBL, these batteries are rated for over 3,000 cycles, meaning this unit could easily last you a decade of regular use. And when it comes to charging, the AC70 absolutely smokes the competition with its 950-watt turbocharging, hitting an 80% charge in just 45 minutes. That is literally fast enough to juice up while you're packing the car for a trip. It also features a 20-millisecond UPS function, so if the power goes out at home, your Wi-Fi router or CPAP machine won't even flicker. Now, comparing it to its predecessor, the EB70S, the AC70 adds Bluetooth app control, which is great, though I do miss the built-in LED light and wireless pad found on other models. At 22.5 pounds, it feels a bit denser than the EBL, and that rear offset handle can make it feel slightly unbalanced during a long walk to the campsite. It's also very app dependent. You'll need your phone to toggle that powerlifting mode on in time. Off. But if you value safety, longevity, and the ability to charge from 0 to 80 before your coffee gets cold, the AC70 is a beast. Do you guys prefer having an app to control your power station, or do you like having all the physical buttons right on the front? Drop your thoughts below. Number 4. BALDR 1000 watt power station. Moving to number 4, we have the BALDR Pioneer 1000, which is the ultimate middle ground for those who want the power of a large unit with the weight of a small one. At just 18.5 pounds, it is roughly 40% lighter than most other 1000 watt units, making it the king of pro-grade portability. If you're a photographer or an outdoor event organizer who is constantly moving locations, this is your best friend. It packs an 808 watt-hour capacity and a 1000 watt pure sine wave inverter, which is plenty for mini fridges or mobile office setups. One feature I haven't seen elsewhere is their eco mode, which is specifically designed to stop the unit from automatically shutting down when you're drawing very low power. This is a lifesaver for CPAP users who often find other generators turning off in the middle of the night because they think nothing is plugged in. When you stack the BALDR up against the Jackery 1000, you're getting a much more compact footprint and a fireproof UL94 V-0 shell for a lower price. Though you do lose out on the massive accessory ecosystem that Jackery provides. Like the EBL, this uses NMC lithium cells, so you're looking at about 500 plus cycles rather than the 3000 plus you get with the Bluetti. The AC charging is also on the slower side, taking about 8 to 10 hours to fill up, which is a stark contrast to the lightning-fast Bluetti AC70. It only has one USB CPD port at 60 watts, so if you're trying to charge multiple high-end laptops at once, you might run into a bottleneck. However, for a grab-and-go emergency source that won't strain your shoulder, the BALDR is a rock-solid choice. I'm curious, how important is weight to you when you're picking out a generator? Would you carry an extra 5 pounds for faster charging? Tell me in the comments. Number 3. Togo Power, a 1000 LFP. Breaking into the top 3, we have the Togo Power, a 1000 LFP. And this is where we start getting into the heavy-duty, set-and-forget territory. This unit is a monster with a 1037 watt-hour capacity, the highest we've discussed so far, and it's built around LiFeP04 cells that are rated for a mind-blowing 5,000 plus cycles. That is nearly 5 times the lifespan of the standard lithium units and even outlasts the Bluetti. If you're a full-time van lifer or someone looking for a permanent home backup solution, this is the longevity king. What really impressed me, though, was the charging speed. Despite having a huge battery, it can go from 0 to 100% in just 1.5 hours via a wall outlet. It also features a less than 10 milliseconds EPS mode, which functions as a mini UPS for your sensitive electronics. Compared to the Jackery Explorer 1000 Plus, the Togo Power actually gives you more base capacity, 1037 watt-hours versus 933 watt-hours, and usually hits your wallet a lot softer. It even includes a 10-watt wireless charging pad on top to keep your phone juiced without messy cables. On the downside, all that capacity and durability comes with a weight penalty. At 26.5 pounds, it's the heaviest unit we've looked at so far, so don't plan on hiking miles with this thing. The fans can also get a bit noisy, over 30 decibels, when it's working hard, so you might want to keep it outside your sleeping area in a quiet tent. It also lacks the fancy Bluetooth app integration that the Bluetti has, so you'll be doing everything via the on-unit buttons. But for sheer bang for your buck, in terms of capacity and battery life, the Togo Power is hard to beat. Does a 5,000 cycle battery life sound like overkill to you? Or is that exactly what you're looking for? Let's chat about it in the comments. Number 2. GRECELL 999 watt-hours solar generator. Our runner-up at number 2 is the GRECELL T1000, and this is the workhorse of the group. If you want high-end performance without paying for a fancy brand name or marketing budget, this is the hidden gem you've been looking for. It offers a 999 watt-hour capacity and a 1000 watt inverter with a 2000 watt peak. But what makes it stand out is its off-road build quality. It features a toughened plastic shell reinforced by 8 rubberized impact bumpers on the corners, making it the most durable feeling unit on this list. Perfect for construction sites, hunting, trips, or being tossed in the back of an overlanding rig. At 17.9 pounds, it's shockingly light for having nearly 1,000 watt-hours of juice, even beating out the lightweight BALDR. It has 10 different output ports, including a 60-watt USB-C and a wireless pad, and the flat folding handle makes it incredibly easy to pack. When you compare it to the GRECELL 1000, you're getting almost identical specs and better portability for a fraction of the cost. The trade-off? Like the EBL and BALDR, it uses NCM lithium cells, so it won't have the decade-long lifespan of the Togo or Bluetti. The charging is also capped at 150 watts, meaning you're looking at an 8 or 9 hour wait to recharge. But for the weekend warrior who just needs a reliable, rugged power hub that won't break the bank, the GRECELL is an absolute steal. It's simple, it's tough, and it just works. Is anyone else a fan of these no-frills, rugged designs? Or do you prefer the sleek look of the bigger brands? Let me know. Number 1. BROWEY Portable Power Station. Finally, coming in at number 1, we have the BROWEY S1000. And this unit takes the top spot because it completely redefines what a solar generator can be. Most generators require you to carry separate, bulky solar panels that take forever to set up. But the BROWEY has a 40-watt foldable solar panel built directly into its protective cover. It's an award-winning briefcase design that won the German IF Design Award, and for good reason. Imagine being in an emergency situation where you've lost everything else, but as long as you have this briefcase, you have a 1,000-watt pure sine wave inverter and a 614 watt-hour LiFePO4 battery that can literally charge itself. While 40 watts isn't enough for a fast charge, it takes about 15 hours of sun to fill the unit. It's perfect for trickle charging or emergency recovery when you're off the grid without extra gear. For faster refueling, you can still plug in up to 120 watts of external solar. The build quality is exceptional, featuring a fireproof shell and high-safety LiFePO4 cells rated for over 3,500 cycles. Compared to something like the GRECELL 1000, the BROWEY has less capacity, 614 watt-hours versus 1,002 watt-hours, but it wins on durability and the sheer convenience of being a self-contained ecosystem. It's a bit heavy at 23 pounds for its capacity, mostly due to the integrated solar hardware, and it doesn't have a built-in flashlight, but the grab-and-go factor is unmatched. It's the perfect solution for apartment dwellers who don't have room for giant panels or solo travelers who want to keep things simple. This is innovation at its finest. What do you guys think? Is a built-in solar panel the future of these units, or is it just a cool gimmick? I'd love to hear your take. Selecting the right power station really comes down to whether you value lightning-fast charging, like the Bluetti, massive longevity, like the Togo Power, or the all-in-one convenience of the BROWEY. If this comparison helped you figure out which 1,000-watt generator is right for your setup, do me a huge favor and hit that like button. It really helps the channel out. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss our next deep dive into off-grid tech. Which of these units are you leaning towards? Let's keep the conversation going in the comments below. And remember, all the links to these products are in the description below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.